So, very disappointing and disgusting. Steph, a member of my community, emailed me this video and picture and let me know what's happening. She's been really diligent, and I'm so grateful for you for involving me in this. Really, I have no words. I mean, I have a bunch of words, but it's just like, it's difficult. So she sent the picture and the video to a friend that's familiar with this type of thing. I don't think I can say certain words because I don't want this video to get taken down. So her friend confirmed that it is indeed a fragment from you know what. First, 𝐉𝐄𝐄 said via email, the owner said via email to Steph, the farm doesn't know how this could have happened. And Steph asked more questions via email. He didn't respond. So the next day she called him and he did say on the phone, oh yeah, sometimes the farm does use bullets before slaughter. And he also mentioned multiple times USDA facility, USDA inspected, USDA. Now you're gonna have to hear me say USDA multiple times in this video. But so first problem is, first you said no, then by email, you said no, but then the next day, less than 24 hours later, you said yes, but that's by phone. No paper trail. This is kind of foreshadowing what's to come. Second, how did a bullet end up in the actual food if you're not even grinding the head? Like head, brains, like none of that is included in the ingredients. And they even said specifically that they avoid using the head for this reason. So how did it end up in the food? So the Food Safety and Inspection Service, along with the USDA, has a humane handling guidebook. And they explain the 4 steps that establishments must follow. And they do state for cattle, one of the steps is evaluate handling methods periodically to ensure they minimize excitement, discomfort, and accidental injury. And except for establishments conducting ritual slaughter, evaluate stunning methods periodically to ensure that all livestock is rendered insensible to pain by a single blow. And under stunning effectiveness section, it does say, are animals rendered insensible by a single blow or gunshot or an appropriate electrical, chemical, or other means that is rapid and effective. It also says failure to properly stun animals is a serious violation of the Humane Methods of Slaughter Act and represents a deficiency in training, equipment design, maintenance, or application. So again, this is to make the animal unconscious so that they aren't getting excitable and basically difficult to manage on their way to slaughter. Another humane handling of livestock paper states the law currently enforced by the USDA is the Humane Methods of Livestock Slaughter Act of 1978. The act made mandatory the humane slaughter and handling of livestock in connection with slaughter of all food animals slaughtered in USDA inspected establishments. This includes cattle and then lists other livestock. 2 methods of slaughter were determined to be humane. The first method requires that livestock are rendered insensible to pain on the first application of the stunning device before being shackled, hoisted, cast, or cut. This means the animal must be unconscious and unable to feel pain before it is stuck. So it does seem that the USDA would accept an animal before slaughter that's rendered unconscious by a gunshot. It's required, not for poultry, but it is required for livestock cattle. And in this case, Steph's food was beef. However, a bullet in the food is a foreign object, and that's incredibly dangerous and warrants a recall. Steph did alert the FDA and the Department of Agriculture, and she kept all of the food. So I'm really grateful that you're so diligent in this. And the FDA and the inspections people did respond to her on Friday afternoon and said, you'll hear from us early next week. So she's gonna keep me up to date on what happens, and I'll continue to make videos, so that you can be involved as well. But when Steph spoke with the owner, he didn't say anything about a recall. She did get a refund, but she felt that he was kind of just brushing it off and acting like it didn't happen. Like he offered her a reship or a refund, and she obviously chose a refund. She let me know about this on Thursday evening. I saw the email on Friday. So right after that, I emailed the company because I've been working with them for a while, and this is extremely disturbing. Like my mom's 4 cats fed their food. My mom's 4 dogs ate their food. Jericho ate their treats and stuff. I mean, one of you, well, many of you probably feed this food because I talk about it. You know, I trusted this company. So I emailed them Friday, basically asked them a bunch of questions about this, like how did it end up in the food if you don't use the head? And are you going to issue a recall because this is dangerous and very disturbing? So he emailed me back Friday evening. I saw it this morning, and he said, I'm happy to answer your questions. What's a good phone number and day and time to talk? So again, remember I said earlier, a little bit of foreshadowing of no paper trail, like what they would say on the phone. And so I said, no, I prefer email, thanks. So that was just a few hours ago before I'm making this video. So again, I'll keep you updated on what happens, but you know, I need a paper trail of these answers. So again, the shot is required, frankly, by the USDA, but it isn't required in the food. Hello, I mean, that's a foreign object. So Steph originally emailed them about this 2 Fridays ago, so 1 full week ago. They haven't issued a recall, and she heard back from everyone and gave me the recap on Thursday evening, so then I emailed them on Friday. And I checked this morning, I checked FDA, Raw Paws Pet Food, and I didn't see any recalls. So the right thing to do is issue a recall because this is dangerous, extremely dangerous. Like, and this, they say that they feed their food to their cats and dogs. So just imagine, like, what if this happened to your cat and dog and you were feeding a different company? Like, what would you expect of that company? You would expect a recall. Like, hello, that's a foreign object. That's very dangerous. I'd also suggest letting all of your customers know, because not everyone signs up for FDA recall alerts, and they deserve to know. Okay, I'm editing and I forgot to mention that there's another issue. So their website is a bit misleading. It says complete, and a lot of you have asked me about this as well. And I've mentioned that, you know, I really only think it would be complete if you're offering multiple proteins, including tripe, including the vegetables, including the surf and turf. But even then, you know, you don't really know if it's actually complete, because the AAFCO nutritional statement does say for intermittent or supplemental feeding only. And when you ask them about it, they're kind of go around the question. So that's an entirely separate topic, but I also wanted to include it here just to prove that we need to be more diligent. So what's the lesson here? Well, I do still think that a raw diet is best for cats. However, just because a pet food company makes raw food, it doesn't mean that that's the best option for our cats. You know, I've talked about, like I said, I've talked about this company for a long time. I've worked with them as an affiliate. I fed the food to my mom's 4 cats, the dogs, to Jericho, but not anymore. Even if they do the right thing and issue a recall, like, that should have already been done a week ago, like when Steph originally alerted them to this. I just can't talk about a company, I can't work with a company that doesn't do the right thing right away. Like, what if this is in other grinds that you sold, and like, it's not like this one cow made hundreds of batches of food. Like, I'm sure you use more than one cow. So like, if it happened then, it could potentially happen again. It's just, it's terrible. So bye-bye to this company. I'm not going to talk about them anymore. Can't recommend them. Even if they do a recall and tell all of their customers, again, they should have done that last week. So I have 2 solutions here. So the first one is make your cat's food at home. Simple. Learn about nutrition, use balanced recipes, get your ingredients straight from the farm, because then you can see how they're handled. You can talk about their practices. Since they're sold for human production, I mean, I can't guarantee that this would never happen. Like, my boyfriend John told me that he heard somebody got a donut from a large chain, bit into it, and there was like some piece of metal in it. That would probably be the equipment and not a bullet, but you know, you can't guarantee anything. So, but I mean, it's less likely to happen. And if it did happen, they would absolutely do an FDA recall, absolutely. So I would say so again, learn nutrition, balanced recipe, get your food from the farm or even the grocery store, because that's still fit for human consumption. That way you have more control of the ingredients and also how it's made. That's the only way, that's like the top tier. That's the only way that you're really going to avoid all of these cons, because companies also get bought out. There were 2 companies, Origin and 𝐤𝐄𝐄. They got bought out by Mars, the candy bar company. Who knows? They're probably going to go after raw food next. Oh, Mars also bought out 𝐤𤄇 Now, which is a fresh food. They used to make cat food, now it's only dog food. That's a fresh food company. They're coming for you. They're coming for you. Homemade is the way, I'm telling you. So I'm gonna come out with nutrition course videos. Probably will publish the first one next week. I'm gonna film it right after this one. So I'll probably publish that next week. That way we can all make and formulate cat food at home and not rely on these large companies. The second solution is to buy Susan Thixton's 2023 list. If you're not familiar with Susan Thixton, she runs the website Truth About Pet Food. I learned about her in the documentary Pet Fooled back in 2017. That's what opened my eyes to this rabbit hole. But Susan Thixton every year reaches out to pet food companies and asks them a bunch of questions, detailed questions, and asks for proof of human grade, non-GMO, organic, is it humanely raised, and requires all of the documents and all of the proofs and verification. And then she puts together a list of the companies that actually did provide this proof. And it's a list basically of pet food companies that she would actually trust to feed to her own pets. And it's more than just a list, it's 44 pages, very, very in-depth, very, very helpful too. Like maybe you're not ready for homemade yet, or maybe your cat's addicted to dry food, you need a better quality brand before you can go to homemade. Definitely suggest getting her list. I'll put a link in the description below. Moving forward, I'm only gonna talk about brands that are on that list, but again, my focus is going more to nutrition and homemade because frankly, I'm kind of tired of talking about commercial cat food because things like this continue to happen and it's devastating and it's just like, we can't plan this, we can't predict this happening and it's just awful and I just can't believe, like I said, I have no words. I can't believe that something like this happened and I don't know, it's like, yes, the shut is required and I understand that things happen, but you gotta do the right thing right away. Like you should have issued a recall last week, like I said. So Steph, thank you again for involving me in this. And I just want to say that to everyone, your trust and the safety of our cats mean the most to me. And I just can't talk about brands like this, like I said, unless they're on that list. I've been emailing companies like, can you provide proof to me? Because this is like, you know, is a big wake-up call. I need to be even more stringent and even more diligent about what I talk about because I just have no words. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I will keep you updated. Also, I will put an email address below. If you feed Raw Paws and you want to email them, we got to put the pressure on them to do the right thing. And again, I'll let you know what they say, and I'll also let you know what Steph hears from the inspectors because they're investigating this. So stay tuned, and thank you again for watching.